Welcome to another edition of the Home Improvement Show, the Electrika edition. We have a fantastic contest to announce that's coming up in just a few minutes, but we want to introduce our guest. Andre Simmons is joining us as always, and we've got a newbie. Newbie to us, Brendan McGurr. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Happy to be here.
We're going to take it easy on you. No, we're not. We have too many tough questions for you. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having us. Yeah, pleasure to be back.
How was that drive? It was good for you?
It was fine for us.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you're all in one piece, so this is what
That's
counts.
it. Not so bad.
So 514-790-0800. We are taking your questions specific to Electrika, right? This is a special edition of the Home Improvement Show. But before we get started, this is big news. You guys have a fantastic contest for our listeners, and we'll tell you about it. It's CJAD 800 and Electrika Home Services are teaming up to protect your home from all of the unexpected. Your home appliances, your fridge, stove, washer, dryer, heating, cooling, all of these systems are essential to everyday living, and an unexpected power surge could risk all of that. So you head on over to CJAD800.com starting now. The contest was just put on, and enter for your chance to win a Square D whole home surge protector installed by Electrika Home Services themselves. Now, this contest finishes March 20th at 5 p.m., so you have until then to enter, and the winner will be announced next week on the Home Improvement Show. So that's a big thanks, guys. It's pretty cool. Who wants to explain what the Square D whole home surge protector is before we get to the calls?
So the whole home Square D surge protector plugs into your panel. It connects to either a 15, 20, or 30 amp double pole breaker. It protects all your appliances from any brownouts or blackouts when hydro cuts your power and puts the power back on. When that happens, a big surge of electricity runs through all the appliances and can damage it. So what the surge does, it acts as a sponge, and it protects all the appliances in your home from being damaged from any brownouts or blackouts.
I'm sorry, am I the only one who doesn't know what a brownout is?
A brownout's when there's fluctuation in the power.
Oh, okay, the up and down. Okay.
Exactly.
I didn't realize I'm learning lingo. Okay, it's good. Let's get to the calls because we already have some coming in. George is on the line with the question. George, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Hi, take it away.
Good morning. Yes, I am looking at getting a new electric furnace because mine is having problems. I believe a couple of the elements are burnt out, and sometimes the fan trips the circuit breaker when it's running on continuous. So my question is, I'd like to know if you're familiar with or if you have an opinion on the electric thermal storage systems for central heating, where heat is stored in high-density ceramic bricks inside the furnace unit during off-peak periods, and during peak periods, power to the electric elements automatically shuts off, and the fans turn on to release the heat from the stored ceramic bricks. Do you have experience with this? Do you have an opinion on it? Are you familiar with it?
So, familiar with the concept. It's not something that we've installed. It's very similar, and I think maybe the next generation of the kind of old-fashioned storage heaters that we used to use in the UK, where essentially the bricks get heated, and then you sort of cut the source of power, and they are supposed to release the heat, as you need. I don't know how good they are now. They weren't great back then.
They weren't great in what sense?
They didn't hold the heat long enough to make it practical. It used to be that you would pay a certain rate for electricity during the night and a more expensive rate during the day. So you would heat the radiators through the night and then allow them to sort of release their own stored heat through the day. But by the time you got to sort of lunchtime, that was all gone, and now you've got to put your heating on anyway.
Yeah, that's the principle that's been explained to me. There's several suppliers, contractors who provide this, and Hydro-Quebec is giving a very significant grant. Like the total system may cost maybe $27,000 to $28,000 to install, but Hydro-Quebec gives out $22,000 rebate, and you don't have to put all the money up front. So I'm just, it sounds too good to be true, but apparently it's very well rated. You can heat your house for 4 hours on the bricks, And anyway, if you don't have the experience with it here, that's fine. I'll do some more research, I guess. But
yeah, I'm sorry, it's not something that we've installed or I've got data on, so I wouldn't want to give you an uneducated answer.
But thank you for calling, George, and it is very interesting. Thank you for that call. We've got Fred on the line. Fred has a question about
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I was going to ask if you can hear us. You can.
Yes, I can. I just want to relay a little story this week. We had power flickering on and off, and recently I had my breaker, my panel changed by Electrika, in fact, and they suggested I put a surge protector, and I was reluctant to do it, but because of the cost, but I ended up doing it, and thank God I did, because a lot of my neighbors got their appliances ruined, and my power, I had the surge protector, and I think it's a great thing, and everybody should think of putting one on their panel. I just wanted to thank them for that.
Well, Fred, thank you so much for that call, because it is an interesting reminder, a very important reminder so the rule of thumb now is that everyone should have a surge protector. Like, is insurance asking for this now? Where are we at with this?
I don't think insurance is asking for it. I do know that in the United States that it is electrical code to have a surge protector inside your home. I'm assuming that it's going to be coming into Quebec very soon, as the new code book is coming into place in 2026. It's very important for all homeowners to have the surge protector in their home, and as well as, I'm sure you're aware, but it comes with the Square D whole home surge protector does come with a $75,000 insurance if ever any of your appliances do get damaged during a surge. You have that insurance for you.
All right. Thank you so much for that. 514-790-0800. And by the way, the contest is all about the surge protector. I wanted to ask you guys about something called the spring switch. I know I'm looking out the window and it doesn't feel like it, but spring is coming. We are aware of that. What do we mean by spring switch and the spring maintenance on heating and cooling? What should we be doing?
Yeah, I mean, every year everybody gets caught out by, how quickly we go from -2 to +25. And this is the time when we need to get all of these spring maintenance visits done. This is when we're doing our home protection plan visits.
So it's like a checkup. What are we looking for?
So it's an inspection and a cleaning on the system. We're looking to make sure that the system's performing properly. There's nothing worse than turning it on when you need it and it doesn't work. And of course, you're in then a queue of people who've just turned it on and it doesn't work, and now you're waiting 2 weeks for somebody to come and help you. So these visits are, they're crucial to being prepared for, the next season. The season's changed so quickly here that, those that are kind of waiting get caught out.
Is now the time? I mean, again, we're looking out the window and we're not thinking about it, but now is the time.
So our experienced customers are already calling and booking. So we've been doing quite a lot of these visits recently, and yeah, we really need to get them done before the first hot day, because after that, it's hard to do.
It's hard to do, and you're in the queue. 514-790-0800. We are taking your calls on this special edition of the Home Improvement Show. This is the Electrika edition, but we're going to continue to take your calls. This is the Home Improvement Show. Welcome back to the Home Improvement Show, Electrika Special Edition. Andre Simmons and Brendan McGurr is here for the very first time. Brendan, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We didn't hear, there was a bit of a technical issue, but Jim, we have him now? Good. Okay, we are taking all of your Electrika geared questions, 514-790-0800. You can always text us as well, but it's better to jump on the phone if you can. Diane is on the line. Diane, can you hear us?
Thank you so much. Yes, I can hear you.
All right, take it away.
Thank you for the help. I'm in the process of changing an oil furnace to heat pump combination electric furnace. I'm getting different estimates, and some tell me I need a 2-ton, whatever, and the others tell me I need a 3-ton. Now, I don't know what to go with because I don't know anything about this. How do I know what is the proper or the exact system that I need to put in? The house is a 30 by 50 bungalow.
Okay, Diane. So that's a good question. The people that are coming out to give you these estimates should be doing some kind of calculation based on not only square footage of the house, but heat load calculations, how much heat is coming in through windows, etc., etc. And that gives us the capacity that's required to meet the needs of the home. Now, that makes it difficult for you if you're getting people coming in and giving you different answers to that question.
Well, that's exactly my problem. I have so far 2, and I'm getting a third one. And I look at it, and I'm at a loss. And then they're telling me also that I have a time limit to the 31st of March to be eligible for one of the grants, which I guess terminate on the 31st of March. I don't know if this is true or if this is a sales pressure. I have no idea. I was wondering, do you help people, like if I had all the estimates and contact you, if I come and meet you or whatever, and help me decipher all of these estimates, is that a possibility?
So for me to be able to give you, sort of an educated answer on that, I would have to come to the house to evaluate the needs of the home myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to tell which estimate is good or not.
Okay.
As far as the deadline that they've given you, that is actually correct. So the subsidy available for removing the oil actually ends at the end of the month. So that is accurate.
Exactly. That's why I'm on a time pressure. But so they would have to do a home evaluation. None of them have done that.
Okay. I mean, I'm not trying. It's a difficult one to answer, but I would be happy to come out and have a look and evaluate what you require. If that's something you would like me to do, I have time. I could do that next week for you.
And Diane, if you stay on the line, I think we can arrange that. Jimmy will take down your information. Does that help you out?
Thank you very much.
Diane, thank you, and we'll be in touch. Take care. Okay, we've got questions coming in on the text line, 514-790-0800. You can call us. You can text us. This was a question that comes to us from Mary, who tried to get the question last time, but we didn't have time. It says, I would like to ask, does an electrical panel have to be changed after 25 years? And if so, why? Also, how much does it cost to change the panel itself?
I would say it's more of a recommendation to get your panel changed every 25 to 30 years. After, some time in the house at 25, 30 years, a lot changes. Codes change. The breakers are used at that point. Sometimes the bus bars can get a little worn out. So I would definitely recommend, at least at the 25 mark, to get an electrician in there to at least evaluate the panel and let you know if it needs to be changed or maybe how much longer you have with that panel before changing it out. It's always a recommendation for us to, if you have an older panel, to get it looked at for sure. And
price-wise to change it, or does it depend on the house? Or?
It depends on the house. It depends on the size of the panel, the amperage. If it's a 100 amp or 200 amp, sometimes 320 or 400. It depends if you need 40 spaces or 60 spaces. It's a range of pricing.
Okay, lots of questions about the surge protector. By the way, we have a fantastic contest. So I announced it at the top of the show. I'm going to announce it again a little later on. Our friends at Electrika are helping you out with your very own surge protector. But getting questions here about the size of a surge protector and the cost. Is it a one-size-fits-all? Is it super expensive? What do we know?
The whole home premium surge protector is a one-size-fits-all. It goes into any panel. It hooks up to any double pole breaker the size of 15 amps, 20 amps, or 30 amps is what it recommends to be put on. The price of our premium whole home surge protector installed is $549, and that protects all your appliances in the home.
So it's $549, which is reasonable to protect your whole home from this.
Yes.
Okay, Andre, we wanted to talk about this earlier. We're talking about the skilled labor that is required to do these kinds of jobs, because we say this every time that you are on, that electricity is not to be toyed with, right? This electricity is our friend, but we are not messing around with it ourselves. You talk about the need for skilled labor.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that's becoming harder and harder to find. We probably receive somewhere between 150 and 200 CVs a year. I hired 2 people last year, and I would have loved to hire 7.
Oh, okay. So you guys are looking.
We're always looking. We always need, but growth has to be done in a controlled manner.
Explain.
As I say, we receive so many CVs, but I rarely come across a person that's going to meet the standards that we require. So we're always farming. We're always looking. We're desperate to get bigger, but we won't get bigger unless we find the people to grow with. The standard that we provide, the level of service that we provide, it must remain the same with every person that we bring on board.
And if someone's listening right now and they think that they've got what it takes, what do they do? They
believe they've got the Electrika vibe, then
Electrika vibe now. Okay, so where do they go?
I mean, we hire based on character. I can teach somebody the job, but I can't teach them integrity, honesty, transparency. And that's really what we're looking for is, good people with, a hunger to be in this industry and to join us. So, yes, if there's people out there who are looking and they feel like that describes them, then they can email their CVs to us at the office, and
that's on the Electrika webpage, I'm guessing?
It is. They can send them to info@electrika.ca.
Okay, so if you're out there and you're listening, and we were just talking about this because AI is set to replace everyone except you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, the skilled labor is where it's going to be at, so yeah.
I think you see these waves, right, in industries where it wasn't that long ago everybody was going through schooling to be computer programmers and software engineers and things like that.
Oops.
But the trades are always steady. We're always in demand, so it's a great career. But you have to love it. Mm-hmm. You can't do it if you don't love it.
And the key word there is it's skilled, right?
Absolutely.
It's very skilled. 514-790-0800. We are continuing to take your calls on the telephone, of course, and the text message. Lots of people texting. Some of you with rather, I would say, meaty text messages that probably would require you to call us instead, because if it's more than a paragraph, it gets a little muddled. 514-790-0800. This is the Home Improvement Show. Welcome back to the Home Improvement Show, Electrika edition. We're going to get to the phone calls in just a little bit, but I want to remind everyone about this fantastic contest we have with our friends at Electrika. CJAD 800 and Electrika Home Services are teaming up to protect your home from the unexpected. Your home appliances, your fridge, your stoves, your washers, your dryers, your heating, your cooling, all of it are essential to your everyday living. And an unexpected power surge could risk all of that. So you head on over right now to CJAD800.com and enter for your chance to win a Square D whole home surge protector installed by Electrika Home Services themselves. This contest ends Friday, March the 20th at 5 p.m. So you have until then to head on over to CJAD800.com. And the winner will be announced on next Saturday's edition of the Home Improvement Show. Okay, we're very excited. Andre Simmons and Brendan McGurr are here taking your questions. And we've got Ian who's on the line. Ian has a question about his heating system. Ian, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Take it away.
Okay. First, good morning.
Good morning to you.
So I purchased a home now 10 years ago. It had an oil burning boiler system in it, which I didn't have confidence in, and I basically disconnected it 2 years ago. And I've been heating with wood ever since, which is inconvenient and not sufficient to heat my home. Now we have finally saved enough money to do a decent renovation in the house. It's an older house. It's brick, the bungalow. I need basically a thermopumpe and electric furnace. I want to redo my downstairs because I have water infiltration somewhere. So I literally need to go to my basement and redo it. It's a finished basement now. Basically, I am a contractor. I can do the demolition, all the construction. There's no problem. I'm not allowed to touch the electrical, and I've been looking into heating systems as far as thermal pumps. I don't know if it's possible to have a vector upstairs. I would like to put radiant in the basement. I've had a couple of companies come in. I won't mention their names, but it's ridiculous what they're asking. It's almost $100,000 for them to just put in a heating system, and I don't think that is reasonable. So how do I go about having a good estimate that takes my skill set into consideration of what we can possibly do to have a plan to go forward now that my family is financially stable enough to make a major investment? But I don't think it should be $100,000.
Yeah, Ian, I mean, it sounds like you've had a long road to walk to get to this point, so I'm glad you've arrived at that place now that you can start to address these issues. I mean, $100,000 is a huge amount of money to install a heating system. So either you live in a hotel or there's something not quite transmitting properly.
That's what I was thinking. My windows are new. I've done the regular maintenance on the home. I'm good with this. I probably should change I am square D, but I should probably change my electrical panel at this point. I don't have any aluminum wiring. I don't have any major electrical issues in the home. I would very much like the surge protection. I will enter the contest. But I do have to remove, like I have the radiators on the walls upstairs, the water radiators and all the copper that's running through the house. And I will be getting rid of all of that. I'm not opposed to gutting my basement, taking down everything. I would like to know, is it possible to install radiant with a thermopumpe heating system and potentially a wall-out unit on the main level?
That would be possible. What you need to really do before you start spending this kind of money is have a clear vision of what you want the outcome to be. Radiant heating is brilliant. You know, it's a nice gentle heat. It's effective. It has some limitations which you don't have with forced air. When we're dealing with forced air, you can start to look at things like indoor air quality, so humidification, filtration of the air. So you need to have a clear vision of where you want that road to end. And part of that journey is, you know, talking to people and finding out, well, what is physically possible? What are the benefits? What are the, what are the drawbacks? And then you can make an educated decision on what you would like the final product to look like.
I've always found that forced air, usually there's lots of dust. There's not, like, I can open all my ceilings in the basement. It's not an issue to not have forced air, but I have a limited space. My ceilings are basically about 7'8", 7'6". So I just didn't want to lose the height on the finished downstairs level with forced air.
Yeah, I mean the ducting network does come into it. You know, it's a case of you do have to have some bulkheads somewhere if we're going to go that route. So can they be placed in a way that are not going to affect the living area or not? But we do work with homeowners in your situation where they are contractors and they want to sort of project manage, and they sort of work with myself and Alex to come up with a comprehensive plan that meets the needs. It's doable, but yeah, I think that budget is quite high.
Me too, and I have a basic floor design, and I mean a lot of it is going to be, you know, drywall and woodwork and putting up new interior walls, and my structure is sound. It's a very, very solid home. It's very much worth the investment. But I just found, like, some of these people who never even came to my home, who were suggesting that, I better be ready to incur $100,000 fee.
Yeah, this is something I don't understand, and we see this and we hear this often where it's almost like companies don't want to waste their time. We'll give you a budget, and if you're willing to work within that, then we'll come and see you. Well, I can't.
That's kind of the way I feel, and I'm thinking, like, that's not, because we do have many companies locally, but they all seem to have the same attitude that if I'm not willing to put forth an agreement, they're not even going to come evaluate the situation. And I'm feeling like that's...
Is it safe to say, though, if that's how it's working, that that's not somebody that we should trust necessarily? I mean, you should have
Well, these are well-known companies as well. It's not. It just seems like it's a pay-to-play situation at this point, and they don't like the idea that I want to do my own finishing, that I want to do my own. You know, like I basically need them to come deal with the heating system and the electrical, which I'm not allowed to touch, and I wouldn't do because of home insurance. But the finishing, like, this is nothing for me. This is very, very easy.
Ian, one of the simplest things that we do is, sort of a mini split replacement. And we wouldn't give a price to do that without sending somebody to the house and just seeing what that job involves. And one of the reasons is when we give a price, that is what you pay. We're not one of those companies that are going to say, okay, it's going to cost you this much, and then halfway through the job, oh, by the way, we ran into this, and now it's going to cost you double.
Well, I as a contractor, I understand this.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the importance of quoting and maybe 20% over in case there's a problem. I understand this fully. What I don't understand is them telling me way ahead of time, before they even come to my home, that, oh, well, this is at least $100,000. And I'm like, well.
Yeah, Ian, I think the best idea here is to maybe contact Electrika. Stay on the line. Jimmy's going to take your contact information, and then you guys can have a chat with Andre to sort of figure out what's going on there. Okay. Thank you for your call, Ian.
Thank you very much.
$100,000. That seems. Say it.
Unless it's gold plated, I don't know.
There you go. I was going to say cuckoo bunkers, but you're the expert. Someone's asking. This is interesting because we were talking about recruitment on the text line. How does Electrika admit trainees? Again. Everything is on the website if you want to send in an application. Is that what it is?
So we have a guy at the office. His name is Rob.
Sorry, because so many questions came in about your job, the jobs. So go ahead.
It's we have a process. Rob handles all of our recruitment, so he would walk you through the process. But initially, we want to see the CV emailed to us. He will then reach out to you. You'll have a chat. He'll send you our information booklet. You'll go through it. If it's something that you think that sounds good to you, then we continue the process. So
there it is. So again, it's on the Electrika site.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you don't understand how many text messages just came in here for jobs. 514-790-0800. We're continuing to take your text messages and your calls. This is the Electrika edition of the Home Improvement Show. Welcome back to the Home Improvement Show special Electrika edition, 514-790-0800. We are taking your calls and your text messages. So many text messages this morning. I'm looking at these text messages again. Andre, people want to come work for you. But again, I repeat, they have to go over to the Electrika site and send in your CV, and it will be looked at. We can guarantee that it will be looked at.
I have a person in the office specifically for that reason.
Okay, because I don't do the hiring, so I don't know. Question here for you guys. Can a generator operate a heat pump air conditioning during a blackout?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for a heat pump to function, we also need the furnace to work, but a generator is not going to be able to power an electric furnace. So there are modifications that we can do to a furnace that will allow it to use the fan and the thermostat and your heat pump, as long as the generator is big enough. But yeah, it's something we're seeing more and more of.
Okay, so if you have to do a modification though.
Yes.
As is, no. Okay, question here about the home surge protector, which we, by the way, are Electrika is giving away. The Square D Whole Home Surge Protector. Head on over to CJAD800.com to sign up for your chance to win. About the surge protector here, it says, is it a one-time deal that needs to be replaced after it eats a surge condition, or does it reset itself? What happens after the surge?
So on the surge protector itself, it's going to have a green light, an indicator. If that green light is on, it means the surge protector is still good. The surge protector does have a 5-year warranty on it. It doesn't mean it's not good after 5 years, but the $75,000 insurance that it does come with after 5 years is no longer good. We suggest to change it every 5 years, just so you keep that insurance going. But no, one surge won't damage it unless the green indicator is no longer showing.
But I'm guessing it just can't constantly be surged.
Yeah.
It's not okay. It's not a forever thing, you said, right?
No, absolutely not. I mean, just like anything else, it tends to break down after a few years.
Which is fine. Okay, question here. It says, what is an approximate cost of a generator? I see on your website that you installed Generac generators, propane tank. Can it be installed near air conditioning unit outside with a certain amount of distance? Also, do I need a permit for a generator? That comes to us from Brenda in Point Claire. Do I need a permit? The cost, and it can be installed within near an air conditioning unit outside if it's separated a little bit.
Yeah, great questions and all very, very relevant. So there are codes that we have to obviously meet as far as how close is it to something, how close is it to window, doors, other entry points to the house. So that would need to be evaluated. As far as cost goes, it really depends on what size of generator you need, and of course that it depends on what it is that you want to be able to operate during an outage. We have a division specifically for the generators, so that would be something that we would forward to them.
Okay. Because I'm getting also lots of questions here about the cost of a generator. Another text message here is, I live in a single-family home. It's detached. What should be the average cost of the generator?
It also really depends. There's two types of generators. There's a standby generator, which is installed, put into place, and it stays there, as well as a portable generator, which if the power does go out, then you have to bring it along, plug it in, and it starts. So there's a huge difference in price between the two. It's really hard to say exactly how much. It depends, like Andre said, what exactly you want the generator to work for.
But I'm guessing the one you can move around is not going to be the most powerful. Can it? The one you have to plug in, you just described?
Yeah, I don't think you can put your whole house on it, but the essentials is definitely, yeah.
Okay. And so we don't have the numbers for the price range, but it will vary a lot.
It varies, exactly.
Okay. This, I think we're wrapping up, but I have to read this text message here that says, this is for you. It says, rarely do you find a company like Electrika. They've been in my house twice. Polite, efficient, clear in their explanations. I was highly impressed, and recently they sent me an email that just left me amazed at their professionalism and integrity. They actually thanked their customers for their loyalty. They're an amazing company. I forwarded that email to many people. Thank you for being such a wonderful company in this day and age. Andre, you're blushing.
I mean, we put so much effort into putting the customer first, and I think internally we feel like we do a pretty good job. And I guess when you look at the reviews we get, they're pretty good. But nothing beats somebody taking the time to come on and sort of say something like that. It's sweet.
But they didn't leave their name. So whoever you are, I hope you were listening long enough to get that message in. That does it for this edition, this Electrika edition of the Home Improvement Show. Quick reminder that you can head on over to the CJAD800.com website for your chance to win that Square D whole home surge protector installed by Electrika Home Services. Again, this contest ends Friday, March 20th at 5 p.m. The winner will be announced next Saturday on the Home Improvement Show. This is, of course, from CJAD 800 and Electrika. Andre and Brendan, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having us.
Brendan,
it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, how did it go your first time?
Good. Yeah,
and we never saw him again. I'm just kidding. Thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend.
You as well.